A book that seeks to explain the tastes of billions of people and the success or failure of millions of products is going to make some assumptions that, while defensible in the aggregate, fail to account for some exceptions. I've tried to avoid making sweeping statements that aren't supported by a significant body of evidence. But taking great care to avoid wrongness is not the same as always being right. A few months before I started writing this book, I found 2 quotes that I liked. I copied them to a note on my computer that I could always see. They are the quotes at the beginning of this chapter. The first quote comes from Italo Calvino's book, Invisible Cities. It is an ode to complexity. Kublai Khan asks if there is a single stone that supports a bridge. Marco Polo responds that a bridge stands not because of one solitary rock, but because of an arch drawn through many stones. The nonfiction genre has, in the last few decades, seen a bonanza of small books about life that are subject to a common criticism. They oversimplify the shape of the human mind, which, like Polo's bridge, is not explained by one stone or another, but by the interaction of an uncountable number of supportive elements. This book, too, is asking some unwieldy questions. Why do some ideas and products become popular? What factors draw the line between hits and flops? The effort to find satisfying answers to these questions will naturally require some generalization. But throughout the process, I've tried to remember that people's tastes are not ruled by a single concept or biological law. Rather, the shape of an individual's preferences is an arch supported by many stones. That Calvino quote alone would be a good argument against a book like this, which seeks grand theories for how the world works. But that's where the second quote comes in. Borges describes an empire with a cartography guild so advanced that it designs a life-size map. Yet the people reject this achievement of exactitude, and the map's tatters ultimately serve to clothe beggars in the desert. There is virtue in simplicity. A paper map that is the exact size of the empire it describes is useless, because a map is only of service if it is small enough for somebody to hold and read it. The world is complex, but all meaning comes from wise simplification. One of the themes of this book is that audiences are hungry for meaning, and their preferences are guided by an interplay between the complex and the simple, the stimulation of new things, and a deep comfort with the familiar. Rather than find shortcuts that oversimplify the reasons why some cultural products succeed, my goal is to tell a complex story in a simple way. The spine of this book is too small to hold Marco Polo's bridge. At best, I hope to find good stones to draw a fine map.